Hey everybody, welcome to your crypto chart update for October 2nd, 2017. This is where we analyze the latest charts in the cryptocurrency space using technical analysis. I'm your host, Tim, a retail investor and a reporter. You can find my regular chart rundowns on tradingview.com or on Twitter, both under the name BerlinTrader591. The goal of these videos is to analyze the trends, go through some trade ideas, and help you broaden your understanding of technical analysis so you can make better decisions and we can all make some money. As always, leave a comment below, send me a question, or tell me the charts you want to analyze. Today's video is also brought to you by CryptoKing.org, which is a great source for the latest crypto news as well as these videos. Also, please support me by using the affiliate links below to join my recommended brokers and wallets, because a little cut comes my way and that's a big help. Alternatively, a tip in my Bitcoin jar would be much appreciated. Remember guys, this analysis is for entertainment purposes only and does not endorse or advise any specific trade ideas. Please contact a registered financial advisor. Without any further ado, let's get into the charts. Checking out Bitcoin. Here we are, folks. Last week, the week before last week, I've been hitting on that same theme, right? The same theme over and over again. If we jump over to Poloniex, I made a prediction, and boy oh boy, has it come true almost perfectly. Look at this break, a trend line break, 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth time we broke through. This pink line was my prediction, and we've done exactly that. We've mimicked the action back in June and July, where we had another consolidation that was similar. We bumped up against 2,800, 3,000, and we decreased a bit to 1,800 until we finally broke out of that 2,800 and we rocketed up to 4,500. Well, now we hit that 5,000 mark and we've done the same thing, bumped up against that trend line, and now we're breaking out. Where does it go from here? I guess that's really the question. Where does it go from here? Well, I think, again, we're in a range. We're in a range between 5,000 at the top and 3,000 at the bottom. We could bounce around between 5,000 and 3,000 for a couple weeks, a couple months, maybe even until next year, 2018. But regardless of how long it takes, I really think we're going to see a breakout of 5,000. Do I think we're going to do that in the next week or two? Probably not. We're probably going to bump up against 5,000 soon, maybe 4,800. If we go back to Coinbase, you see guys, Bitcoin is on different exchanges. Don't forget, you can analyze Bitcoin on Coinbase, you can analyze Bitcoin on Poloniex, you can analyze Bitcoin on Bitfinex, and the exchanges, they all have different prices, but in general, they should show the same patterns. This is my chart on Coinbase, and you see the boxes that I drew between 5,000 and 3,000. And we're just bouncing around in that box. So far, we've done exactly as predicted. We've bounced around in that consolidation box. Buyers are buying, sellers are selling, but no one's really winning the game. There's no breakout to the upside, and there's no breakdown to the downside. So for all the doom and gloom out there, all the naysayers of Bitcoin, I have friends that were interested in Bitcoin. It's really interesting. And now I hear people saying, oh, it's a bubble, it's over, it's finished. These are people who never really bought any Bitcoin, maybe a couple little Sakamotos, or whatever they're called, the little Bitcoin cents. But they're not really aware of the prospects of Bitcoin. To them, it's a digital currency, and they hear a lot of naysayers in the media, in the big banks saying, oh, it's doomed, it can't work, the government's going to shut it down. And so they think it's over. But guess what? That's a great place to buy in, because if it does take off, you're going to be the first person on the boat. So, yeah, it could crash from here, but right now, We're healthily moving along in that box, just like we moved along in that box back in May and June, right? And eventually we broke out. I'm really expecting the same thing here, guys. I'm expecting a push up to 5,000, maybe some consolidation. But if we can hold that upper half of the box between 3,500 and 5,000, if we can hold that upper section, then I think we're going to see some buying pressure start to mount and an eventual breakout. So either buy in while we're bouncing around in the box and hold your breath, or you can wait for a breakout and buy in there, right? If you buy in the box, your stop should be somewhere around 3,000. And if you buy on a breakout, you want your stop to be under 5,000. So a stop means if that price goes up and then it falls back down through your stop, you want to get out of your position. And it may hurt, it may suck to get out of your position when the stock goes, when Bitcoin goes from 5,000 to 4,900, but you have to keep to your rules. Make a plan and stick to your plan. If you can do that, it's really easy to make a trade because you make a plan and you follow the plan, and you shouldn't have to think about it. If you're thinking about it, you're letting emotions get into your decision-making process. That will make you lose 100% of the time. So again, Bitcoin looks healthy. It's bouncing around in this consolidation range between 3,500 and 5,000. Don't see a reason for any selling. Don't see a reason to run away. Still looks healthy to me. Litecoin showing a bit of weakness. We see this trend line, this bottom trend line, and we see Litecoin trying to get above that trend line again, but it's just having trouble. It's just rolling over here. And that's not really a good sign. Doesn't look unhealthy yet because we still have this uptrending 200-day. That's a really good sign. We still have high volume and buying green volume. We still have an uptrend overall. So doesn't look too bad, but there is a sign of weakness if we are under this trend line. We want to be above that trend line. We want to be back in this range heading up. Let's check out Monero. I'm going to check out a few altcoins today because just to see how things are comparing against Bitcoin. Well, Monero, just like Bitcoin, is in a kind of consolidation range here, heading sideways. The range is getting tighter and tighter, winding up like a spring. And eventually, guys, it's going to break out one way, either to the upside or to the downside. Now, again, we see the general trend is up here. This is the 200-day moving average in blue. It's the last 200 days closing prices averaged, and the general trend is up. And you see every time for the last, I don't know, at least year. What is that, year, 2 years? Look at this. It's beautiful. Going back all the way to 2016 in March, that was the last time we were under the 200-day. Look at this. Every time we've come down to this 200-day, we've just bounced right back up. And here we are again, coming down to that 200-day, right? So I expect fully another one of those bounces. So Monero, you could get in now. You could wait for the bounce, but it's hard to time those bounces. So maybe you want to buy in a little of your position right now. And if it falls down a bit more, buy in a bit more. Your stop could be that 200-day. So you build a position in this area between 50 and 100. And when we get a bounce, you're in prime position to make as much as possible. Or you could wait for a solid breakout, right? Something that is obviously going up, but then you really have to catch it. If you look here, that's what happened back in June, July, and August, right? We had this kind of head and shoulders pattern, and then we had a big breakout. Well, you had to be there to catch that. If you weren't in it when it happened, you missed out. So you could have accumulated some Monero as it approached the 200-day in this area. And when it breaks out, you're ready for that. So Ethereum, another big coin. Let's zoom in a bit. I did have some notation there for the 60-minute chart. Let me just delete, hide those drawings. Okay. Ethereum, there's some forking news going on, right? But really, the technicals tell the story. We're in a consolidation range. It's a little different than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is more like a box. This is more like a triangle because you have this ascending bottom line and then this horizontal resistance at the top, which creates a triangle. That means we have higher lows, the highs are the same, and a higher low. And here we go again, heading back up to that top level resistance. Again, if we see strength, we could break out. And to me, I don't see why we wouldn't, because the trend is up. If we look at that 200 a day, we look at the volume, it's all green, it's all buying volume. Again, bullish, looks strong. We're just consolidating sideways. And to be honest, that is very healthy in my opinion, because we are going sideways for a month, 2 months. And if we go sideways for a few months and then break out, remember, the bigger the base, the higher the space. I've heard that by JC Perret says that. He's an amazing mentor for anyone who can follow him. Follow him at All Star Charts on Twitter. But he always says, the bigger the base, the higher in space. And boy, in my experience, that's always been true. Let's check out PivX, my favorite coin. I'm always pushing PivX, and sadly it hasn't broken out. It's just been going sideways as well in these two trend lines. All these coins consolidating, guys, in different ways, but basically consolidating, right? So PivX, again, I expect this 200-day to continue up, and we'll get a bounce off of that. If this 200-day is broken, and this trend line is also broken, then, that would be my stop. That would look very unhealthy, and I think it wouldn't be worth it to wait and get a bounce, because that would certainly be a disastrous move for PivX. But I got some positions in there. Let's check out Ripple. How's Ripple doing? Wow, Ripple looks great too. I think I talked about this the other day, because we had the 200-day moving average coming up, and lo and behold, look what happened. We bounced right off of that 200-day. So where are we heading from here? Are we going to break down and crash through that 200-day and crash through that trend line? Sure, it could happen. But again, the 200 days moving up, we have a healthy consolidation in a range. We have positive volume more than negative volume. That means buyers are coming in more than sellers. So it looks like to me that people are interested in Ripple. It looks like to me that buyers are waiting for a breakout. So again, another great opportunity to consolidate in Ripple. Normally with stocks, we do have some resistance and support based on previous price action. Maybe that's something interesting to point out here. You might have a resistance up here, and you're waiting to hit that resistance in a stock, because maybe the price was in a stock, maybe the price went up, then it goes down, and now it goes back up, and you have a resistance level like that. But cryptos are really interesting because there are no resistance levels. It is just pure air, the air up there. It's just the universe is the limit. There's no buying or selling pressure to stop cryptos. And you know what else? You can't short cryptocurrencies. That's another thing. It's really hard to short cryptocurrencies. So the fact that there's no resistance based on previous price, there's no upper ceiling that's already been established, and the fact that you can't really short cryptos, it's really hard to sell them short. Where in the market, short sellers can put pressure on a stock, put downward pressure on a stock, and they can sell it. But with cryptos, you can really only buy cryptos. So it crashes because there are no shorts covering, right? You have, in the stock market, you have shorts selling the stock short, and then the price goes down, and then they buy it back for a cheaper price, right? And that puts a floor on the price. But with cryptos, there's no floor. People just sell. That's why there's such a huge, that's one of my theories. That is why there's such big spikes and crashes, pump and dumps, because there's no one to buy it back when it dumps. But Same difference when the cryptos break out and they start to climb, there's no one to short it, there's no one to sell it, so there's only buyers. So cryptos really do crash up, which is not as common in the equity market. Let's check out Dash. Love Dash. I actually like to use Dash, to be honest. So I'm a big fan, and I really like this chart. I mean, how healthy could a crypto be? Well, as healthy as a Dash. Look at this 200-day moving average for 1 year, just going straight up. That is momentum, guys. That 200-day moving average is momentum. Price is really heading up in a very nice upward trend. No reason why that would stop now. I feel like we're going to come back down and just keep on going. The train keeps on moving. No reason why it wouldn't, right? We're just consolidating, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, in this range here between 220 and 400. Oh my goodness. If we break out, let's see, how would we make a target? Well, if we break out, we can apply Fibonacci retracement. The high of this range and the low of this range, that would create a daily chart target around 500, right? So 500 is that 161 retracement. That's our first target, guys, the 161.8 retracement Fibonacci level, which is right around 500, which is another great number because 500 is such a psychological number. So when we get to 500, after breaking out of 400, I wholeheartedly expect another crash back down and another range to form. But that's what I'm waiting for, guys. I'm waiting for a breakout to 500. So either I would buy at the bottom of this range, around 235, or on a breakout of 400, you can buy in and set your target for 500. That would be a 25% increase. Not that bad. And based on previous action, that could literally happen in a couple of days. So very excited about that. Keep your eyes on Dash. Clam. Yeah, this is a great chart. Clams are pretty interesting. Clams against Tether. We had this consolidation range between 2.7 and 9 and 10, so an $8 consolidation range. Amazing if you just played this range. Buy, sell, right? You would have made some good money. But we had that consolidation range, and now it looks like we're breaking out of that range, right? We're breaking out of that range. We're breaking out above $9. And if this base is any, let's set our targets here. How do we set our target? Remember, we find the base, we find our range, and we set our Fibonacci from the top to the bottom of that range, and that gives us a target, right? Our first target's going to be here at 11 to 161.8 retracement at around 11.15, which is 10% from where we are now. Our second target would be that 200% line, because that's the double of the range, right? 200% of the range, so it's the measured move of that range. That would be 1320, so that'd be about 25% move. Not that bad. Clams look interesting. I might write that one down, actually. Might be a nice trade. It's breaking out right now. Could be a nice move. That looks good. Let's check out Neo. I'm gonna go through a few altcoins today just to see how they're reacting compared to Bitcoin. This is Neo against the dollar. Again, this is an example of a coin that, you know, what kind of move is this? Well, to be honest, it's nothing. It's just a bit of a mess. I wouldn't enter a coin like this on the daily chart. We don't really have a defined range. We do have a high, which is nice, because that means if we get up here, we might see some resistance. So that's one. That's our highs, and we play against that. And we have some lows here as well. We have 1, 2, 3, and also over here we had some support. So we have nice support range there. So between 15 and 50 we have a range, but that's a pretty big range. You could play that range or wait for a pattern to develop. If we drill down to the 60-minute chart, maybe we see a play on a bit more of a microscopic scale. So here's the 60-minute chart. That's showing us a more detailed look, and we see we see any patterns sticking out. So just looking at that, not really. I mean, we see the trend has changed. It's an uptrend, right? So you could play that uptrend. You could say, okay, there's an uptrend here. We have the 260-minute moving average here. So the last 260-minute periods are calculated, and we have an uptrend, and that price is reacting to that line, and we're getting an uptrend. So you could say that, you know, there's a support here, and you could buy off of this. So this is, again, looking at day trading, 60-minute trades. But today's lesson, or today's rundown, I really wanted to focus on the daily chart, you know, the overall moves of cryptos and altcoins right now. Maybe next time we'll do more of a daily move analysis. Checking out Steam against Bitcoin, which is interesting. I saw a lot of movement in Steam recently. This is a great example of performance against Bitcoin, right? So we had this range form, this bottoming formation that was tightening, another consolidation, and it broke out of that consolidation. We saw a huge increase right over the last few days, and now it's come back down and bounced off of that level. So this is strength against Bitcoin, and in general, Steam looks like it's rising in terms of strength against Bitcoin. That's the 60-minute chart, so I should be looking at the daily chart here. Here's the daily chart looking against Bitcoin, and it's interesting. We have this bottom, and then we kind of see this bottoming formation here that's really nice. Actually, it's a little messy, but we do have a bottoming formation, and that could easily, we could see us bounce up to 0.001 against Bitcoin. So if you're looking for a little leverage on Bitcoin, looking for a little alpha in terms of Bitcoin, then maybe buy in a little Steam here. It's definitely at the bottom of a range, right? So it's not a bad value to reward here. If you buy in here and we see a jump much higher, you know, that's not a bad risk to reward. That's what it's all about, risk to reward. So guys, basically, you know, I mean, I agree. You know, I'm kind of bored in a way, because my overall thesis is a breakout above 5,000 on Bitcoin. So I'm really waiting for that, because that's going to bring in a lot more volume and press and exposure to the crypto space. We're going to get some news that some country has allowed Bitcoin in an exchange, or some big analyst or some big investor is going to say that he bought 1 billion Bitcoins, or right, or it's used in Amazon, or something's going to happen where Bitcoins are going to break 5,000. I don't know what the news is going to be, but it's going to happen. And when that happens, all the other coins are also going to get exposure. So you want to be in the strongest coins, not the weakest coins. And you want to be in the coins that are most liquid, that have the most volume. So that's Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Dash, Ripple, Monero. And after that, you get into more extreme, let's say, illiquid plays where you're really just gambling. But if you play Bitcoin and the bigger coins, you can still make a lot of gain, and you can really use your technical analysis skills to make predictions and improve your chances. Otherwise, you're just throwing a coin, and anyone can toss a coin. So you don't want to be just anyone, because eventually you're going to lose. So guys, hey, stay posted when things get exciting, when we start to see some real action. I'm definitely going to post more often. I might post daily or every 2 days. But when that happens, guys, you know, I'm going to give you some solid trade ideas. Right now, I just suggest accumulating and waiting for a breakout, or buying in when the price is at the bottom of the range. So stay posted. Check out CryptoKing.org. Send me a Bitcoin or 2 or 3 as a donation. And please, please message me with your questions and ideas. Appreciate it, guys. See you next time. Peace.